Hey, good afternoon. You on the Robert Jeter Show, Blues in the News. Coming to you live from Atlanta, Georgia. Here I am, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And a lot has gone down in the world. So I thought I had to come out and say a little bit, give you a little bit of my 2 cents. This is a little tune I wrote some time ago called Innocent Children, about all the abuse, suffering, massacres, torturing, beheadings of innocent kids. Of course, at the time I was talking about what was going on in Africa and other places in the world, but now we've got Israel involved, and we have a war in Israel. And we should have seen it coming. I mean, it's amazing how Israel was attacked and was totally shocked by the attack, totally unguarded, it seemed like. There were no cops, there were no soldiers around when these people got massacred, or very few anyway. They definitely didn't see the attack coming. And Israel is, of course, known for having one of the best armies, one of the best intelligence services in the world. So how did this happen? I mean, it's a mystery how they got away with it the way they did. Hamas, I'm talking about. I mean, they must have been very, very quiet. I understand this attack had been planned for several years. And, of course, Iran is behind it. And we know Iran's behind it, even though the government will not admit it. Of course, they're behind it. I mean, the thing is, in the world, people have to understand that there's a certain hatred for Jews in the world. And it's like you're a member of a certain secret society, okay? And the one thing that makes your society tick is that you all have this hatred for Jews. And so they're all in league together, basically. I mean, it's nothing new. I mean, Jews have been fighting off these bad elements for over 3,000 years. It's nothing new. But this time was a big blow, not only to Israel, but to the world, because these people are horrendous. No matter what you think about the Palestinian people, and perhaps some of them can be, you can be sympathetic toward a lot of them in their suffering, but they have allowed these human animals to take charge. And of course, you deserve the leaders you got. And I can say the same thing about the United States. We deserve the leaders we have, because we have very, very weak leaders right now. And I don't have a lot of confidence in our leadership, even though recently they have come out. President Biden and Blinken have come out and said the right things, but it's a little too late, if you ask me. But yet I have faith, and I have no doubt that the good will end out in the end. The good will win out in the end. But what we have to go through until that happens, until good takes over and justice is served, we have a long road to hoe. And I pray for us all. I pray for the world. I pray for my Jewish fellows, my brothers and sisters. And, what can we do in this time? I mean, we can't do much but to do the right thing, to pray, to make sure we're kind to each other, and that we turn down the volume of the bad vibes, the language that we use to criticize the others. I mean, I'm guilty of this as well as anybody else. I mean, because I just see so much injustice in the world. But still, we have to be careful what we say. But the time of action is now at hand. Whether it's praying, being kind to your fellows, or taking up a gun and shooting the bad guy, we all have to work to bring the world back together. The idea is to make civilization humane and loving. We have to take away the hate. And that's why I can't understand what's going on with the left, with the woke. I can't understand how they can have demonstrations supporting Hamas when all you have to do is look at one picture of a beheaded baby or a burnt corpse in a car, or naked women being abused. How can you look at those pictures and still support Hamas? It's unbelievable. I think people are very naive, generally speaking. I mean, there are evil elements taking advantage of the naivete of a lot of our citizens. I know people want to think with their heart, and it's good in a certain extent, but you have to use your mind as well. You can't just use your heart without using your mind. I mean, you look at certain famous people in our culture, like Taylor Swift. You know, they're totally dedicated to the left because they think, oh, this is the most compassionate side. How can you be Marsha Blackburn and be so conservative and right wing? And you know, they just buy into that whole scenario of anybody who's white and conservative is a fascist and a Nazi, when the real Nazis are coming from Hamas and the extreme left and those who support the extreme left. We have to draw the lines in the sand. We have to fight the real fight. And people have to wake up and have to not think only with their heart, but use their minds. Look at the evidence. Look at the evidence in the world. You have to see the whole thing in its proper context. You have to look at it from a historical point of view. You have to look at it from a global point of view. You have to look at it from a national point of view. From every point of view. You just can't look at it myopically from one way. So it takes a lot of strength, takes a lot of courage, and it takes a lot of research and listening to the right sources. And that's why freedom of expression is so important. We've been censored, especially those on the right, those more conservative voices. We've been censored. We can't even speak up in our educational systems. The whole educational systems have been taken over by the woke. Look what these organizations in Harvard and our greatest universities come out and support terrorists and praise the terrorist. I mean, you have to look at the history, for one. Just look at the simple history of the Jews. All you got to do is look at the history of the Jews. That's all you got to do. And read the history. I mean, don't read it from a woke point of view. Don't read it from a, BLM point of view. Read it from a true history book. Read it from, do your own research. Don't be taken in. Don't be bamboozled by all these lefties who tend to be communist anyway. There's so many communist elements and Marxist elements and in our society that it's unbelievable we came this far. But keep the faith, baby. Keep the faith. Anyway, this is Bob Jeter. You're on the Robert Jeter Show. I'm going to play a little bit more music because, this is a song. Let me see. What song do I want to play now? I'm looking through my... You can go to Bob Jeter, by the way. I'll do a little sponsors. I'll do a little promotion, self-promotion. I do that every now and then. That doesn't help. It doesn't hurt to do a little self-promotion. Bob Jeter, you can go out and hook me up on Spotify. Here's one I just released. Too much news. Oh, man, that's been too much news. Too much bad news.
Well, I've been watching too much news. Whole damn world has got the blues. Seems like reason out the door. Common sense you can't find no more. And I guess we're gonna need somebody with a master plan. Guess we're gonna need somebody take us to the promised land. But it's your mind you must rearrange. Too much greed, there's too much hate, but not much time to change our fate.